Yukio Hatoyama, former Prime Minister of Japan, for your participation. It's unexpected that I see you here today. Thank you very much. We've been a very good friend of each other. And I'm also very much delighted to be here with Honorable Park Kyung-seo, President of Korea National Red Cross Society. And I was very much delighted by his speech. I hope my presentation will be as enlightening as President Park's statement. And also thank you, Dr. Min Sang-gi, President of Konkuk University, for his warm welcoming statement, and also your initiative in convening this one last year. Thank you very much. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is really a privilege for me to deliver these remarks at such a timely juncture for leveraging the enabling utility of education in the pursuit of peace, sustainable development, and increased coexistence and integration both here in Asia and all throughout the world. I take this opportunity to offer my sincere congratulations on the opening of 2019 One Asia Convention, which marks the 10th anniversary of the One Asia Foundation. Again, congratulations, Mr. Yuji Sato, for your excellent and brilliant progress and achievement during the last short period of 9 years. Since 2009, I should not repeat what Mr. Sato, Yoji Sato, has already announced. 8,000 individual scholarships have been generously supported, and 5,000 scholars in the field of Asian studies. It is much more necessary, particularly at this time when two most important, most democratic, and one of the prosperous countries, both Japan and China, are having a lot of dispute over trade issues. I sincerely hope that all these current controversies and disputes will be settled harmoniously for the benefit of not only both Japan and Korean people, but also for the people around the world. And also it is very important that these two countries uphold the universal value of United Nations Charter, peace and security, development, sustainable development, and a mutual friendship. This is my sincere hope that as soon as possible, a diplomatic negotiation will take place to resolve all these differences of opinions. Adopted by 193 member states in New York in 2015, SDGs offers a way forward to confront most critical issues of our time. These include poverty eradication, quality education, inequality, climate change, marine diversity, human rights, public health, and gender equality. Most important aspiration and vision for our shared future is to ensure that no one is left behind. I have listed some good benefits from education. First, education trains future professionals to resolve conflicts and uphold the rule of law. Education expands decent work and spurs economic growth across all sectors. Education can help address endemic levels of sexual harassment and gender-based violence in both developed and developing states. Education nurtures systems of public health at all levels. And also, education has a transformative effect on progress towards empowerment of women and youth, inclusion and equality for all the people. And perhaps the most important and urgent area for redoubled educational efforts is related to climate change and climate action. Our action to address climate change. In that regard, Goal 17 of Sustainable Development, that is about partnership. Without this partnership among governments, business and society, and civil society, we cannot do anything. There is no country in this world, however powerful, however resourceful one may be, one can't do it alone. We have to put all our resources, our commitment, and political will, resources in addressing all these global challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud in that regard to have expanded the United Nations partnership, particularly in educational areas. In 2010, I have initiated United Nations Academic Impact, UNAI. Educational and research institutions are essential partners in our quest to achieve the SDGs. Education serves as a launching pad for new ideas and incubators to forge solutions to the seemingly insurmountable problems that we face. In this regard, I urge you, the members of One Asia Convention participants representing institutions of higher learning to join this UN academic impact. I understand there are many universities in Japan and at least 250 universities in Korea. They have joined academic impact. Based on my experience, my own experience, leading the United Nations for 10 years and traveling all around the world in pursuit of peace and conflict resolution, I can testify this to a truth. However, Nelson Mandela's timeless words take on an even greater meaning to me as a result of my own experience when I was a young boy in war-torn Korea. As Mr. Yuji Sato just told me about our age, we were both born before the end of Second World War. And unfortunately, when I was 6 years old, Korean War broke out. North Koreans invaded. And this was the largest regular warfare since the end of Second World War. I still remember that there was nothing for us to eat. We were very hungry. We were very thirsty. There was no water, nothing to eat. The UNESCO provided all what we need. Red Cross was also playing a very important role to invest in education and ensure that young people such as me could keep healthy and learn. Teacher training, educational research, textbook publication, and curriculum development stemming from this aid was essential in our post-conflict reconstruction. This in turn was integral in establishing a strong sense of national ownership and focus on education moving forward. Korea improved primary schools and literacy rates. It developed science, law, and engineering departments of its universities. It expanded learning opportunities for girls and young women. Education provided the catalyst for Korea's staggering economic development following the Korean War, as it became the way for so many young people, including myself, to succeed in the social-economic sphere through hard work and determination. It scales up problem solving, empathy, and independent thinking. It reduces poverty and opens opportunities for social advancement. And it increases participation in political processes at all levels. We should also learn from the experience of civil society leaders, educators, and students on the ground in conflict and post-conflict areas, where education has helped unlock post-conflict peace, development, and reconciliation. Citizenship is a unique tool that can help solve some of our most pressing challenges and will assist us in reaching sustainability and building peace. Global citizens are those who identify themselves as a citizen of the world, rather than belonging to Japan or Korea or any nation. With the transformative development of science, technology, and communication, we are living in a very small planet Earth. There is no place where we cannot reach by airplane within 24 hours. Whatever we are now talking these days will be conveyed to the end of our world within a fraction of a second. So we are just one global citizen. In this regard, we must recognize this historic opportunity to infuse our schools with a focus on global citizenship, education, and its guiding principles. Do you know what I did? The first thing I did as soon as I retired from the United Nations, because I thought there is so much problem in global citizenship, I established Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens in Vienna, Austria. That's the first office I have established. While I'm having more than 20 different titles, international, or just honorary, or real responsibilities. And during my time as a Secretary General, I have asked Prime Minister Gordon Brown, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and we launched together the Global Education First Initiative. It's known as GEPFI, Global Education First Initiative. And global citizenship education has a true paradigm shift potential in this regard. Let us recall the preamble of UNESCO Constitution, which again declares, I quote, "Since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed." I believe that global citizenship education can further facilitate the construction of these defenses of peace for our subsequent generations, and at the same time also help construct defenses for the sustainability of humanity and our planet. The United Nations, its member state, civil society, the private sector, and other key stakeholders such as educators like yourselves need to come together in partnership to step up our unified effort in this regard. We should draw from the work of UNESCO Institute for Statistics and other key partners in promoting viable assessment and review systems of such programs. We need to expand global citizenship education, learning and teaching materials to specifically focus on prevention of violent extremism. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude, Asia represents the vanguard of global efforts to build a more peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous global future. Indeed, this region, Asia, has limitless potential in Asia Convention to play your part in advancing the SDGs in your ongoing work through quality education. We can create the future we want, one where education is a dynamo that propels all people and our planet to new heights. We all share a common destiny rooted in sustainability, peace, and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, let us expand our unified efforts in the field of education to realize this shared destiny for all in the years to come. Let us work together to make this world better for all. And I thank you for your attention. I count on your strong commitment in using economic power to empower people around the world where nobody is left behind. Thank you very much.
총장님,